Oh man, I'm over here going. I was just talking and talking. Y'all can hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
now
there
we
we go.
can.
Yeah, I'm give a grand introduction to everybody. I'm over here just talking and talking. But now that we finally got myself on the mic, I was saying we got us a few returners this year for our round 2 of our NFL SmackTalk, SmackDown. Got Mike on the mic. I got Irv in the building as well, and then Jordan Long, our Broncos fan. But definitely, like I said, wanted to let everybody else introduce themselves, get into it before we get into the AFC West SmackDown today. Like I said, I know some of you guys' teams played today, so we were happy to get into all the action and everything that we've seen from preseason matchups. But like I said, I'll start to my right. Jordan Long, our Broncos fan for the day. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. We won today. I mean, it's preseason, but it's nice to have Drew Lock look pretty good, even if it's second and third stringers.
Yeah, that's what I say. I know we'll get into it, but the QB position battle is definitely going to be a big topic in today's episode. And then below him, we got our guy returning for some vengeance on the guy to his left, Mike on the mic from Warzone Sports Network, and our Chargers fan for today. How you doing, sir?
What's up, Jelani? Thanks for having me back again. I will say this: I am the opposite. I am not happy to see Drew Lock fall out of the second, third stringers.
Yep, I would say it's not something that you want to see, especially being that he's been there. He has a little bit of competition, but we don't want to see any type of, like you said, success from that squad over there, because that hinders your success for your squad. And then we got our champ. He was the champ last year. They got dethroned. Well, he got dethroned in our Smack Talk, and they got dethroned by the Bucks this past year. But I know he's back and ready for some vengeance as well. How you doing today, Mr. Herb? Our Chiefs.
Doing good. You can't have a better Chiefs fan for this segment than me. My father had season tickets from the time I was born. I was going to home games at Arrowhead from the time I was born all the way through high school. I maybe missed 5 or 6 home games in my life before going to college. So lifelong Chiefs fan. When they went to the Super Bowl, I had to go. Got my brother to go meet me from Texas, Dallas, a couple buddies from here. We went out. A buddy has a hotel on the beach, Airbnb on the beach. He set us up. We had a place to stay. Went to Shaq's party, had a blast, and the Chiefs won it all. First time in 50 years. It was the best. So I'm glad to be back and representing my Chiefs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sounds like a lot of fun that I'll never experience.
Well, hopefully so. Hopefully, you got a guy that we're thinking is going to be, of course, the leader and quarterback for you guys for the next few years. Hopefully, giving Patrick Mahomes a little bit of run for his money in that division. But like I said, before we get into it, I'll let everybody kind of go around the horn, give your opening statement, just about your team, off-season moves. What should we expect from them this upcoming year? Why you feel that they're best? Why you feel like they'll win the division? All that good stuff. So I'll start with I'll go back around the horn. I'll start with you first, Jordan. What should we expect from the Broncos this upcoming year?
Well, of course, we don't know who's going to be the quarterback right now, but honestly, defense. We know defense wins championships. We drafted Patrick Surtain. We got Darby and Kyle Fuller in the offseason, and we also signed up Justin Simmons. The secondary is going to be really scary to play against. I don't care who quarterback is for the other team. Mm-hmm. If you're looking at Surtain, who actually had a pick second, Fuller and Darby there, man, that's really tough to get a pass thrown and completed to. But then you also have Justin Simmons, of course, Von Miller, and hopefully a healthy Von Miller and Bradley Chubb going to put pressure on the quarterbacks, which is just going to make it that much tougher. And then, of course, Shelby Harris in the middle, knocking the ball down. The only question I have for us is really the nose tackle. I know he went down. I think it's Purcell went down. So that could be a little bit of a question mark. But otherwise, I mean, this defense is set to do something. But offensively, we do have weapons and Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, Noah Fant, KJ Helmer, and of course Cortland Sutton. So if we can get the offensive line protecting Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater and have them have time to throw the ball, those speedy receivers can catch the ball. I know Jeudy had a tough time last year catching the football, but it's just a matter of can we protect them. And honestly, I see us doing pretty well if that happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, you definitely got some ballers on that team on both sides of the ball, honestly. It just honestly comes down to that QB battle, like we said, that we'll get into a little bit later. You guys fix that up. I think you guys are definitely going to be a top 10 defense this year. Offensively, like I said, you got the weapons. Hopefully you guys make something shake at the quarterback position, though. But, Mike, what should we expect from the Chargers? We know your guy Herbert came on the scene hot and heavy last year. We're expecting big things from him as well again this year. So what should we all expect from the Chargers as a whole?
Well, the Chargers have an opposite focus, in my opinion. Instead of focusing on defense, while we did pick up the defensive head coach and Derwin James is coming back, and I expect the defense to be okay, we have an understanding and we have learned from our BFFs over there that defense no longer wins championships. Elite offense with average defense wins championships. So that's what I'm looking for the Chargers to shift to. We're going to start airing it out. We got the Saints' long-time offensive guy in Lombardi. You know he's going to bring in a plan that's going to be airing the ball out. You're going to see the Chargers try and have an offensive game plan that can keep up with the Kansas City Chiefs and a defense that's just average enough to win those games and win those shootouts. I feel like with the offensive line improvements, the Chargers are right there. The thing is health concerns and contract concerns with Mike Williams. If we lose him to a holdout situation, lose him to a trade, lose him to any kind of just demotivated by not having any guaranteed money this year, it's going to be very painful to this offense. So those are kind of the keys for me. Offensive line, elite offensive play is what I expect from the Chargers this year, and just improved defense, average defense. I'm not going to sit here and tell everyone that we're going to take down the Kansas City Chiefs in year 2 of Justin Herbert, but I can say we can get a large step closer to taking down the Kansas City Chiefs and competing with them for years to come. No offense to the Broncos. The Raiders shouldn't be offended, but Raiders fans will still try and convince you. I think this is a two-man race. I think this is a two-man race, and they're on the bottom of the screen.
Yep. I see it. I feel it as well. Like you said, and that's really been the key. Like you said, since the Super Bowl run, since even the year before that, it's been shown. Electric offense, just good enough defense around. Like I said, middle of the pack, top, 13, 14 at best will win you a championship. But I will let my guy Greg talk about his Chiefs. What should we expect from them? I think it's more of the same. But anything else that we should kind of be expecting this upcoming years? Like you really just retool that offensive line, and you guys feel like that's all it would have taken to maybe keep Patrick Mahomes upright and possibly been in the game in the Super Bowl. But anything else that we should kind of look forward to from the Chiefs this upcoming year?
Well, they did make a bunch of moves, and that's what's interesting about this head coach and general manager combination. They don't hesitate when it's time to make a change and make a move. They do it.
Yep.
They got rid of Hunt because of his issue, and immediately they retooled the running back room and got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who in year 2 I think is going to be a lot better than he was last year. He didn't blow the doors off like we expected, but for a rookie he did admirably, and I think he'll do a lot better. Second year in the system. Offensive line, you see they had some hiccups there, and they immediately retooled that whole offensive line with reckless abandon. They signed the best guard, free agent guard out there, Joe Tooney. They were this close from signing Trent Williams away from the 49ers, and then when they missed on that, they still hit a home run with the trade for Orlando Brown.
Yep.
And then in the draft, they get Creed Humphreys, the best center in the draft. He's coming in starting day 1. He's going to be with Patrick Mahomes for 10 years, hold down the center spot. And watch this, guys. The right guard is going to be Trey Smith, the tackle or the guard from Tennessee, who was first-round talent but blood clots and missing games. He fell, and we got him in the 5th round. What I'm hearing, he is mauling everybody on the Chiefs front. Chris Jones is getting mauled. Jaron Reed is getting mauled. He is tearing these guys up, and he is a rookie. So he's taking that right guard spot, and it's his. And then we've got Mike Rimmers back on the right tackle. He was switched over to left tackle because of injuries, and we're expecting last year's rookie from TCU to eventually take over that spot. And then then the offensive line is set. Big maulers up front that can run block, that can pass protect, which means bad news for secondaries if Mahomes has time, because it's the same old cast of characters. You got Tyreek Hill, you got Kelsey, you got Hardman that's playing real well right now in camp. It's looking like he's going to just step right into Watkins' spot, keep Robinson over on the other receiver, and then they've got a couple guys that are kind of swapping around for that last spot.
Yeah.
So the offense looks great, and it's going to be the same old story with Mahomes at the QB spot, and another year in the system for him. It's going to be just like how Peyton Manning progressed and how Tom Brady progressed. Another year in the same system, year after year after year. It's just those teams were just always in it at the end, and we're expecting the same from the Chiefs.
Yep. You say it's more of the same old, and like I said, it's scary for certain people in the division and certain guys whose faces on the screen right now. But you say I think this is one of the more interesting divisions in my opinion, because I feel like everyone got better. There's a few questions here and there. I know our Raiders guy isn't on to kind of defend his squad, but like all in all, I think they say everyone's kind of played off of you guys' playbook and trying to do exactly what you guys have done and shown. But to kind of get into the questions, we're gonna get into the team questions for the day. I'm gonna start with Jordan again as well. So my question for you, like I said, I'll give you time to talk, and then everybody else kind of rebuttal off of it. Your defense may be a top 10 defense. I know you kind of talked about that and touched on it. As we see, Patrick Surtain, your first round pick, had him a pick 6 today, and everyone else, all the different off-season additions that you had, it's been really, really good for that group. It's going to be a solid young group. But, defense may be top 10, but offense could struggle, again, with no clear QB1. What should we expect from this team? And who should we expect? I guess my question is, if you guys were to make it to the playoffs or, say the last 8 games of the season, who's your QB that will help lead you to a possible playoff berth?
Well, I mean, you have Teddy Bridgewater, who's the game manager, but Drew Lock has a cannon of an arm. Honestly, it's going to be on Drew Lock. That's my prediction. Who's going to be the number one quarterback for him, though? And we saw this last year. Is he does not like his checkdowns. I don't know what it is. He locks down on one receiver, and it makes the defensive back's eyes easy to take the intercept it. But what we saw today is he was actually looking throughout the whole field, trying to look for his go-to receiver. If that is the case, then we're going to be fine. But if we have the turnover Drew Lock, then Teddy Bridgewater is going to start in week 4 and 5 to lead this to the playoffs. The only thing that I have a problem with Teddy Bridgewater is that he is not a throw it down the field type of guy. He always goes for the short 5 to 10 passes. Yeah, that's going to work for a while, but once defenses figure that out, then what? If we have playmakers, it's just a matter of getting the ball to them. And I think Drew Lock is the one that's going to get the ball going to be the quarterback to throw the football.
Mm-hmm. Mike, what do you think? Who would be their quarterback, or who do you think is their quarterback 1? And who do you think would be the quarterback 2?
It's kind of interesting how they constructed them, right? Because they're kind of complete opposites. Mm-hmm. Drew Lock's almost just like a little bit too risky. He thinks he can make throws off his back foot. He thinks he's Patrick Mahomes when he's not. Right, and that's why I'm worried about Zach Wilson in New York. I'm afraid he's going to be a lot like Drew Lock is, and just trying to risk it a little bit too much, and you don't have that same level of arm talent. He has a cannon, don't get me wrong, but the accuracy and the consistency in his footwork and everything is all out of whack. And then Teddy Bridgewater is almost too conservative, way too conservative. I feel like this team, especially when they drafted Patrick Surtain, was like, hey, we are setting up to set up a huge trade for one of these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And when it all fell through, the Deshaun Watson stuff happened. Russell Wilson stayed in Seattle. Aaron Rodgers stayed in Green Bay. Now they're kind of like, well, what do we do? I think Drew Lock's going to be the QB1 week 1. but I don't see them being afraid to pull him because they got to feel like they can win games with Teddy Bridgewater and this defense. That they can win games like that.
Yeah.
They're not going to win a Super Bowl. I still don't even think they make the playoffs with Teddy Bridgewater, but they can compete with Teddy Bridgewater. So I feel like they're going to try Drew Lock out, give him his last chance, and they'll go to Teddy if they need to, and they're going to be looking at quarterbacks in the offseason. Aaron Rodgers probably be back on the table again.
Yep.
Which is going to be a lot of fun in the West next year when we come back. and he's got the Aaron Rodgers on his back.
Yeah. Is it Aaron or
I think Denver, in my opinion, I think Denver should, scrap Lock early, go to Bridgewater, because you know what you get. He reminds me a lot of Alex Smith. And, Kansas City was winning games. They're going to playoffs with Alex Smith, and then they caught lightning in a bottle with Mahomes. And then they just went, crazy. And I think that's where the Broncos are, is they're that dynamic QB away from, going crazy. And I thought in the draft, they might go Justin Fields. I was like, he's going to be there for him. And I thought they'd go there, but they went a different way with it. So we'll see how that turns out, because I think Justin Fields is going to be a beast.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we kind of all saw today. I know he's been the news of sports Twitter, sports everything today. I think he went 14 for 20, 130 something yards, and 2 TDs, one on the ground, I think one in the air. So like you said, it was there for the taking, but once you said we kind of figured that I don't know, would give Drew Lock that one more year. I don't know. It seems like they don't have great luck of either scouting quarterbacks, or they don't have great luck of wanting to pay them as well, or trade for them. Like you said, it's typically one of the two. But I feel like Drew can. I don't know. It's tough. I like what you say. He has an arm as a cannon, but I just don't think he's. I don't know. He's not as conservative, like you said, as Teddy Bridgewater. So it's kind of like you're playing with dynamite. Jesus Christ, dynamite. So it's like you said, you can really see Teddy Bridgewater being in there, like you said, because that defense, and we've seen it today, even though it's against second and third string, they're going to definitely compete, and they can win you some games. Almost like Chicago in a sense, when they had Mitch, but Mitch is a whole nother story. But Jordan, I'll give you a chance to kind of rebuttal and say what you think.
I will say, with Vic Fangio being the coach, he knows he has to start at least 500 in the first 4 games, otherwise he's gone. And I think, honestly, he's going to go with the best quarterback that's going to get them there, and that's going to be Drew Lock. Of course, I will agree with you guys that they will pull the trigger if they have to, but at this point, I think for 2021, we're still going to go with Drew Lock to start out with, and if things go bad, we're going to pull the plug, and you're right. I think we are going to scrap it and go for a quarterback in 2022. If that's Aaron Rodgers, if that's Deshaun Watson, so be it. But the fact of the matter is, Drew Lock is the quarterback for right now. He needs to cut off the turnovers. Yes, he has a cannon of an arm, but the fact of the matter is, I think we're going with Drew Lock to start.
Yep. Hopefully it does well for you. Like you said, we said it before we got on. He looked, pretty well today in his preseason debut. So hopefully he can keep that up, his first stringers when he does reach that point. But we'll move on to the Chiefs now. And my question is, it kind of had a tough time coming up with a question for you, but I figured it would be fun to maybe get a little bit of smack talk from the other guys, and maybe from you as well too, Greg. But my question for you is, do you see any team in this division that can possibly challenge you? Challenge what it looks like is a dynasty in the making?
The team I'm scared of is the Chargers. That first game, we really struggled with them and had to take it. It took every minute of that game to finally pull it out. They got a good coach over there now. They're building a good culture. They're scrappy. They fight. I watched a lot of Herbert. My wife is from Oregon. So she's a big Oregon Ducks fan. So, I watched a lot of him. So I knew what he could do. And he just kind of found the right place and with the right type of receivers for him because they're going to do some things. They're going to beat some teams. They're not going to beat the Chiefs, but they're going to beat some teams, and they're going to give us some problems because he's a real bona fide QB1. I like him a lot.
Okay. There's threw a little shot at the end. I did think I was more so hoping or thinking he was gonna be like, oh no, this is definitely our division, our clear division. But nah, I know Greg's definitely a level-headed fan as well, so he knows when there's some teams that's coming up and like I said, we'll challenge them. But Mike, what do you think? You said your team.
Oh, because the Raiders, we Raider haters to the core. So
I actually have a list of Raider hate takes if you guys want them at the end. But anyways,
oh yeah, we might have to do that.
Saving them up, I write them down and save them for every time we talk about the Raiders. But yeah, I think it's the Chargers. Also, I think the Broncos are a quarterback away from being that team. When you look at the Broncos and the Chargers, they're constructing teams to go after the Chiefs. You can tell that they have a mission, a game plan. We talked about it last year with the pass rush combined with game wreckers in the secondary. You don't necessarily need all-world defensive backs. You just need that one player, that one feature guy that can break up Travis Kelce or can slow down Tyreek Hill. You got to have that guy because you can't stop the Chiefs' offense. It's impossible. Yeah. You can accept that. You need to dedicate to building up your offense along with having just those couple players that can be a problem on the defensive side of the ball. I feel like the Chargers got that in Joey Bosa. They got that in Derwin James if he could stay healthy on the defensive side, and our offense is ready to go. Like I said, I expect elite. I expect top 10. I expect top 5, but I want to see top 10 at the bare minimum. The offensive line is just loaded up. There is no excuse for this offense not to be putting up 28 points a game or 25 points a game this year.
What are your thoughts on losing your tight end, though, to the Patriots?
We got Jared Cook. We're good.
Yeah. You like Cook?
Yeah, he's consistent. I feel like Jared Cook's going to put similar production to Henry. What sucks with losing Henry and switching him out for Cook is obviously the long term. We can't We can't feel safe at that position for 5 years going forward. We're going to have to look at other options as soon as this year and into next year. But yeah, I think Cook's going to put up similar numbers to what Henry's going to do, and just hopefully he stays a little healthier. Henry's usually a banged up guy, even when he's out there, he's playing hurt. But I feel like the Chargers are number 2, and the Broncos are a close number 3. But both of these teams have built very nicely, good pass rushes, and are building weapons on offense.
Yeah, Jordan, I'll let you finish it off. Like you said, he left your team's name out of there. I don't know if you feel a little slighted by that or not, but do you think that you guys can possibly challenge the division champs and Super Bowl appearance for the AFC? Do you think you can take them?
I'm glad you guys are putting us under the radar because we might have the best defense in the division. Yeah, you're right. We're a quarterback away, but the fact of the matter is defense wins championships. I know in week 15 we played the Chiefs 23-3, 23 points that we've given up. That's a pretty good, account of how our defense played. We just need the quarterback play. If the offense showed up, we may have made that a better game. But I don't know if we have the weapons to actually, stop a Travis Kelce or a Tyreek Hill. But I know our defensive backs, we've gotten better. And it's just going to be on, can we put pressure on Patrick Mahomes to make a bad decision, to have Patrick Surtain, to have the other guys pick the ball off. Yeah, I think we are under the radar right now. Yeah, I would agree that the Chargers are the number 2 team in the division on paper right now, but we'll see once the regular season starts.
Yep, I like it. Ride or die for your squad. Like I said, I really like that secondary that you guys put together over there. I don't think it's enough to really slow down, obviously, the amount of weapons that the Chiefs have. But like you said, like it's possible. If there's time, like it's possible. Like if you hold the Chiefs to 23 points in a game, like as long as your offense somewhat, staying with them throughout the game, or like you said, able to put up some type of points, like that's a good enough showing. But like you said, it's all just going to come down to how Drew Lock plays and if he's able to cut down his turnovers. And like I said, we'll just see when the regular season does come. But want to move on now to Mike. Got your question right here, and my question for you and your Chargers is, why should we believe Herbert in this in a way, newly structured Chargers team, because you guys did lose a few pieces on the defensive end that I liked. But like I said, you definitely retooled in certain ways. But why should we believe Herbert and this Chargers team can be any different than what we saw last year as well? Like I said, you got some key guys that left on defense. You guys were in a lot of games, but just for some reason couldn't finish them. And like I said, it's a little bit different of a team. You guys had a head coaching change, new offensive line, just a lot of overturn. But like I said, a great group of people that you did bring in. So why should we believe that this Herbert Chargers team is different than what we've seen last year?
Well, like you said, it's retooled and rebuilt in a different way. We're gonna have a different motto to our games now. With Anthony Lynn and all them, they were just forcing the run. Our running backs are receiving back. You know what I mean? Like, and our quarterback was going off. What are we doing? Running the ball, 81% of the time on first down, whatever the heck it was last year. It was absolutely ridiculous. They went out and they got the Saints offensive coordinator. Guy was going Drew Brees, putting up 5,000 yard seasons every year. So you know that they have an understanding of what the team makeup should be. And that's an aired out, high flying offense. So I think that you're going to see a lot more of that. And then they also just looked in the mirror and said, what was going wrong? And what was going wrong was the play calling, the defensive play calling at the end of games was absolutely awful. So they went out and they hired a defensive-minded head coach and a guy who is known for his wise and smart play calling on the defensive side of the ball in his short NFL career, to be fair, so far. So I feel like the Chargers did a good job at self-evaluating what we needed to do to kind of cater this to Justin Herbert and make this team built around Justin Herbert. This team is built for Justin Herbert now. It is no longer built for Phillip Rivers, and that's what we saw last year.
Okay. Jordan, what do you think about this new Chargers team? Like you said, it's a bunch of retool from pretty much offense, defense, and the coaching staff. So I know you did say they seem like they're the clear two right now until the season starts. But what do you expect from them? Some of the same magic that we seen from Herbert last year. Do you think they have permanently fixed the defensive woes at the end of games and it should fare well for them and they should win a lot more games this upcoming year?
I mean, the proof is going to be in the pudding for those late leads. The question I have for Justin Herbert is we've seen quarterbacks play well in their first year, but will he tail off in the second year? That's a question I can't answer right now, but we've seen quarterbacks play very, very well and just have played awful. But the thing is the Chargers have a good offense. They have an okay defense. And what more do you need? You just need Justin Herbert to be basically at the end of games, a game manager. I know I hate to say that because he has a cannon of an arm, but when you have a 10 or 7 point lead with 5 minutes left, you have to be a game manager. You can't keep throwing the ball. And I think that was the problem with the Chargers is they were throwing the ball at the end of the games rather than running the clock out. And if they fix that, they're going to be a dangerous team.
Okay. Greg, what do you see from Chargers land? Do you think they're a little bit different? I know you say that this is the team that scares you. So what do you see from them this upcoming year?
I think that they're going to win probably 10 games and get into the playoffs. I think Herbert's going to have a good season. I think he can return from the good freshman year and put together a good sophomore season without a lot of fall off. They'll beat a lot of other teams, but the Chiefs they've made some moves too to hold these people down that are trying to score with us because like I kind of told you guys last year, if you can't put 30 up on the board on the Chiefs, you might not have a chance. So you have to score a lot of points, and the Chiefs are seeing that's what people are trying to do, and they're trying to beef up their pass rush so they can get after the quarterback. They've got good DBs in the secondaries there. They had a nice pickup. What's the guy? Bo Peeps. I'm not getting his name, but I'm hearing a lot of good stuff about this corner that's kind of come out of nowhere in camp. So he's fighting for starting time and getting some good play out of the guy they got from Minnesota and the former first round pick from the Giants. that came over last year and then got hurt, is also playing well. So the Chiefs are doing some things on defense as well to kind of counteract what Herbert was able to do last year. So we'll see. We'll see. AFC West is going to be, tough as usual. We'll see what, as much as I hate the Raiders, they always find a way to beat us one time somehow. And, they did it again last year and pissed me off, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. That actually kind of segued me into, like, unfortunately, Phil Jones isn't here. I don't think he's going to be able to pop in, but I did want to kind of visit the things that you guys were talking about. So it's going to be a little segment I'm going to throw in before we do our bowl predictions and record predictions. But I want everyone to say one nice thing and one just smack talk, don't even care, just trash the team thing about the Raiders. Obviously, Phil's not here to defend it, but I just want to hear the take. So I'll start back in with you, Greg. One nice thing that you feel like the Raiders will do this year, and one just let them have it.
I absolutely love their tight end, Darren Waller. He is a flat-out baller. I love that dude. I got him in all my fantasy leagues. That's my guy. Outside of Travis Kelce, that's my guy. And as usual, Derek Carr, garbage Carr. They need to change his name from, Carr to Hoopty. Derek Hoopty. That's what I'm going to call him for the rest of the year. Derek Hoopty. He ain't Derek Carr. He's Derek Hoopty.
Oh, my gosh. Mike, what's your take?
Oh, man, I was going to take the tight end thing.
Yeah.
I did say one nice thing on another AFC West preview show I was on, and I said that it's good for Henry Ruggs that he gained 12 pounds. And the bad thing is going to be that those 12 pounds that he gained are going to be more valuable to the Raiders than John Brown and Willie Snead combined. They're both second stringers in the depth chart. Yeah. I've been getting it from the Raiders fans all offseason. We got John Brown and Willie Snead. I'm like, what's that supposed to mean?
Supposed to mean? Yeah.
The depth chart comes out. They're behind Brian Edwards, and they're behind Henry Ruggs and Hunter Renfrow. Get out of here, Raiders fans, with that Willie Snead, John Brown bull crap. But congrats to Henry Ruggs. He was way too small. Way too small.
Oh, Jordan.
I don't know if I can say a whole lot nice about the Raiders, but I will say this. They at least have a quarterback. It's the one thing they do have, unlike the Broncos. But for me, honestly, they don't have an offensive line. We know an offensive line is key to doing anything, and they gave up 26 sacks last year. So unless they fix the offensive line, Derek Carr is going to be on his butt for most of the season.
Yeah. Definitely. And defense side too. I know they drafted and tried to fix it last year, but it just didn't work out. But I guess I also asked you the question I had for him as well. And I'll go around the horn again. The Raiders this last few years, they've had fast starts. Like they've had pretty decent, first half of the season, first 8 games, but then they just have terrible finishes. I think last year where they went either 2-6 or 1-7 to finish out the year. The year before that, it was similar. So, do you guys see that changing at all? Like I said, these fast starts, terrible finishes. Like, what do they need to do, I guess, in order to change these outcomes? Because, like I said, we thought they was on the way to possibly, making one of the playoff spots, especially last year when they had thrown in the extra wild card spot. But again, just terrible finishes. Got thraxed by my Falcons that had no business really thraxing anybody last year. So what do you guys think, these fast start and terrible finishes, do they have a chance to fix that this upcoming year? And I'll start again with you, Jordan, and work around the horn.
Do they have a chance? Yeah, they do have a chance to fix it, but I don't know what it is with the second half if their game planning with John Gruden just, goes out the wayside. But the problem is again, it's protecting Derek Carr for him to have time to throw the football, and that defense needs to start stopping teams. Otherwise, you're going to have these fast starts and then go down, downhill. But I don't know what it is with him because John Gruden is one of the better coaches in this league. Unless he figures out, I don't see them making the playoffs. Especially even if they have a fast start.
Yeah. Mike, what do you think?
I mean, I feel like, in my opinion, the biggest problems with the Raiders have been inconsistency. They've really been banking on that O-line to be elite year in, year out. And we saw last year when they got a little bit banged up how bad the team actually could get. They went from a wild card contending team to, having one of the worst string of games last year of any teams in the league. And I think that inconsistency comes from just not being healthy, not having the depth to make it through a whole season, and just being a team full of very young players. These young players are going to start the season off hot. But can you carry that? Can Trayvon Mullen carry that motivation for 17 games? I don't feel like those young players have it. I like that they added some veteran experience with like a Casey Hayward pickup, the Yannick Ngakoue pickup, that kind of stuff. But really, this team needs a complete rebuild, in my opinion. And for those reasons, here it comes, Raiders fans. I'm so sad Phil Jones isn't here. I've worked with him on other stuff. He definitely would love this. This is the reason I have the Raiders going 5-12.
Ooh.
Yeah.
5-12.
Wow.
Yeah, top 10 pick.
Greg, what do you think?
Well, I have an unpopular take about the Raiders, and it's around Mike Mayock and the head coach Gruden. Everybody gives Gruden like all this credit. He's such a great coach, blah, 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 blah. But what I see is he's unlike Andy Reid. Andy Reid has changed his West Coast offense with the times, and it's kind of morphed into something that's really not true West Coast offense and West Coast principles anymore, where Gruden is still hardcore West Coast offense. And I think kind of like what you alluded to is having a better and more dominant offensive line makes that easy to do. It's tight end driven. That's why Waller gets all the catches and he's balling out. But I don't think that Mayock is doing a good job of keeping the flow of good talent coming. Mm-hmm. I'm not impressed at all. I mean, Henry Ruggs, I like him as a player, but, there was probably 5 or 6 people that I thought that they needed over him in that spot. But, they're trying to make a splash and get they need a Tyreek Hill. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go and reach for Ruggs. And, he made the deal with Antonio Brown, and, he's in the trade with Khalil Mack. They're just dropping the ball all over the place when it comes to personnel moves, and I think that's where the problem lies.
Yeah, I feel that. Like I guess that even before they even touched the field, like I said, the last few years, like you said, the personnel decisions just have been a little bit questionable, especially right when John Gruden got that job and that long extension and whatever. A lot of the stuff after that came, like I said, was really, really questionable. And like I said, now they're kind of stuck in a spot where they got a lot of young guys, and like Mike alluded to, is like, can you count on young guys that been in the league 2-3 years to carry out 17 game seasons in the NFL against the best of the best, and continue to play throughout the whole 17 games? I don't see it. So you always need veteran leadership in your locker room. It's very important. You see that throughout pretty much all sports, honestly, and it's no different in football. But we'll move on from the questions and kind of go next thing, record predictions that we feel our team and the rest of the teams in our division. I know some of us have already kind of dropped some bombs on what records we think certain teams will finish off the year with. But I'll start with you again, Jordan. The record that you believe your Broncos will have, and then records for the rest of the teams in the division.
I've heard so many predictions. I listened to local radio in Denver, and they're saying 11-6. I don't see it. I'm going to say a good year is either 8-9 or 9-8. I just don't see any other way. Either one game below 500 now that we have 17 games, or one game above 500. But I don't see us making a wild card spot.
Oh, what about the rest of the teams?
Oh, I was about to say, it was my turn. Oh.
Yeah. I'm going to say that the Kansas City Chiefs go 11-6. I'm going with the Chargers at 10-7. Then I'm going to say that the Raiders go 6-11.
6-11. Okay. I'm really curious what 6. I know we don't have the schedule in front of us. Maybe I can pop it up.
We got a tough schedule. It's a tough schedule.
Yeah. I was going to say, how many of those 6 games do you think come from losses from teams in your division?
Well, the Broncos always seem to lose to the Raiders, so I'm going to say maybe one or two of those are going to be losses to either the Broncos and two to the Chiefs, and then otherwise, and
Oh
maybe
no,
one
for
to
the
the
Chiefs, my fault.
Chargers, and then
I should
I
have
don't even.
clarified.
Oh, for the Chiefs
Yeah.
in the division, I mean, um, probably one against the Chargers. That's the only one I can think of. I know we play the what is it? The NFC East Division. That could be a little tricky with the Cowboys and the Eagles. And I mean the Giants, and no problem there. So I do think maybe one or two one loss to maybe the Chargers and maybe a freak loss to the Raiders. Otherwise, the Chiefs are going to be fine.
Okay, I was just seeing. I was like, well, maybe 3-4 losses come within the division, but yeah, I think Greg said guys do have probably a tougher schedule this year. But Mike, record for Chargers, record for the rest of the division.
Well, I got the Chargers going 11-6, so if the Chiefs go 11-6, I'm gonna be very, very happy. That means that we kick their ass at least once. But yeah, I got the Chargers going 11-6. Call me biased because I am biased. I'll just admit it right here on the air in front of everybody. They could be a 500 team again this year. I wouldn't be shocked as long as I see that growth. As long as I see some elite offensive play, like I said, I'll be happy. But I got them going 11-6 when I looked at the record. Got the Chiefs winning it at 15-2. I know their record's a little bit, or their schedule's a little bit tough this year. I just think this team's phenomenal. And then now they have a Pro Bowl level offensive line. The Chiefs committed robbery a couple times this offseason. One getting Orlando Brown, they committed robbery there. And then they moved back in that trade, and they got Nick Bolton in the middle of the second round. And I was like, damn, like that's exactly what they need is an athletic linebacker like that. And then they got Creed Humphrey, and I'm like, this just isn't fair. And they got Trey Smith late in the draft. Like, how did this team get 3 starters out of a draft that they didn't have a first-round pick? Don't know. So I got them going 15-2. I actually got the Broncos going 9-8 because I feel like there's only 2 ways that it's going to go for the Broncos. Drew Lock's going to mess up in the beginning of the season, and Teddy's going to come in and win some games, and they're going to be around 500. If Teddy doesn't come in and win some games for them, that means Drew Lock's successful, and they're going to be around 500. So either which way I see it going, I think they're going to be right around there. And then I said it earlier, I got the Raiders going 5-12. I think they're going to get beat down this year by everyone in the division. They may win one of the games.
Yeah, so I don't really see too much hope from them either. Greg, what do you think?
Well, I got my Chiefs. Unlike last year where I said undefeated, I'm gonna say 15-2. I think they'll lose, maybe one during the season, and it's a long season. I think someone sneaks up and gets them again. We lost the last game of the year. We're usually first place, resting starters. We lost that game last year, but I think against the Broncos that won't be playing for nothing. I think they might be, playing some other people. I think we might be able to pull out that last game when we got all our backups in. So I'm going 15-2 for the Chiefs. I've got the Chargers, like everybody else, getting 11 wins. Broncos 8 or 9. I'm leaning more toward the 9. They get their quarterback situation, solved. It doesn't hurt them too much because I like their running game. Their backs are great. I like that draft pick that they got, Javonte Williams. He's a beast. Defense is going to be strong, so I'm leaning on the higher end of that. A game, maybe 2 over 500 for the Broncos, and Raiders pulling up they might pull 5. I'm saying 5 or 6 wins for the Raiders.
Okay, 5 or 6. Everybody seems to be about in the greens with the records. Like I said, the 11-6 one, or 11-6 for the Chiefs from Jordan's end. I was like, oh wow, 6 games that they might take. So I guess we'll take that before we go into the bowl predictions. And if they were to lose 6 games, let me see if I can bring up the schedule real quick. I want to get you guys' opinions on these 6 games that they may possibly be losing. Mike, I'll start with you. I don't know if you have it in front of you or not, but let me see. Chiefs schedule.
6 games?
Yeah, if they were to lose the 6 games, Jordan said they would go 11-6. I'm interested to see these 6 games that they may lose.
It would have to be the Chargers, 1.
Yep.
Probably the Broncos, 1, too.
Same.
I want to say the Raiders because the Raiders sneakily get them every year, but I'm really, 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 really low on them, and it's hard to even talk about.
But we've got the Titans. We've got to play Washington. We've got Cleveland game 1. That's one that they could slip up on. We've got the Packers. There's some tough games out there.
Yeah.
I love seeing them all in the beginning of the season.
And then Baltimore. Yeah, Baltimore in week 2 going into Baltimore. You don't know.
Oh, yeah. You play AFC North and NFC East. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is a little bit of a tougher schedule. Yeah, I will see that. The only team, I can see the Washington a little bit just because that front 7 is pretty scary. But like I said, with the improvements on the offensive line, maybe that's not too much of a worry because their back end isn't the greatest. Yeah, the Browns one in the beginning of the year, that can be one that could maybe go either way for sure. The Ravens one as well, but I still say.
And then
then I was gonna say you go ahead, Jordan.
Then you have the Bills in week 5. I was just going to say the Chiefs play the Bills in week 5. That could be a loss depending on the defense of the Bills, especially that front line.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, like it is looking pretty tough, but we've seen them, especially last year, even though they did have a lot of close wins. We know that we can always count on pretty much Patrick Mahomes to make some type of miraculous play, or the defense, like you said, they're probably not the greatest, but they're just good enough to make plays when it matters, and that's the most important thing that we've seen in the last few years, especially with the Chiefs side of the ball. But bold predictions, we'll move on to that. We'll finish off the show with this, and then of course closing arguments why we feel like you should move on to the next round. But like I said, bold prediction could be for a team, could be for a specific player, really anything, just any bold prediction at all. So Mike, I'll start with you.
Am I still here? I'm lagging out.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I truly believe that Justin Herbert's going to go over 5,000 yards this year. I mean, you can call it a bold prediction. You can call it damn near fact, barring health concerns. I mean, the guy was going nuts last year. He had over 4,000 last year in less games and a 5-minute notice to go into it. So I'm going to go with 5,000 yards. Like I said, I have very high expectations for the offense. The only thing that should derail it is injury. That's the only thing that can derail it. Knock on wood, because I know what that's like. But yeah, so I'll use that as my bold prediction. I don't have anything crazy for him though. Other than that,
if you got a TDs interception ratio with it,
I think I had 35 touchdowns marked down, which would be similar to last year. If he had that one more game, he would have went for 35, maybe 40 total if he gets 5 rushing, but 3 rushing, I'll take that. 38 total touchdowns. INTs, we just got to keep them under 15 in year 2, and then in year 3, 4, 5, we got to keep them under 10.
Yep, because it just improving, like you said. But the 5,000 isn't a stretch. I know last year, and I'm gonna say it on every show, we had a Cowboys fan that predicted 5,000 yards, but only 12 touchdowns for Dak, which I don't know how that maths, but he was on track to get 5,000 yards before he got hurt. So like it's starting to show. I guess it's not impossible. But like you say, you have high expectations for that offense. Is very very doable. He had a lot of games where he threw well over 300 yards last year, so it's very, very in his reach. Yep, 8 of them.
8 of them things.
Greg, what is your bold prediction for your team?
You see my over here, my OU helmet. Yeah, I played at OU, so I'm Boomer Sooner all the way through. So my bold prediction is a former Sooner, Jalen Hurts, is in the MVP discussion at the end of the year. And the Eagles win the NFC East. And it's going to be behind the power of the arm and legs of Jalen Hurts. That's my bold prediction.
Clip that one.
Yeah.
That happened.
Right now. I got to keep
that was getting clipped.
Eagles.
That happened.
Yeah.
Killing them in the NFC West.
Yeah.
And with the extra game, 17 games. I think that gives Patrick Mahomes an extra game to break his own touchdown record and throw for 60 touchdowns.
Hold on, whoa. You're not saying he's going to throw for 60 touchdowns, are you?
60 touchdown passes.
From Jalen Hurts? Or
No,
like
from
No,
Mahomes, my fault. I was like, hold on. I was still
No,
stuck on
I
the I was
switched
still stuck
over.
on
I
the
switched
Jalen Hurts
over.
possibly and he switched over. Yeah, I was still stuck on the Jalen Hurts being the MVP conversation. But yeah, 60 from Mahomes is crazy. Like you can hear whatever number and it's like I'm not even gonna think if it's crazy or not. Anything from Mahomes. It's like it's possible it can happen. It's like
Like he might do
show me
it.
show me something new. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
If
that definitely is a bold prediction though.
If he throws for 60, Jalen Hurts may be in the MVP race, but he will not be in any MVP conversation. It's going to be Mahomes and nobody else.
Yeah, exactly. 60 touchdowns, Jesus Christ. But yeah, both of those might actually get clipped now. So, Jordan, what do you think?
I'm going to go with Jared Judy. He's going to get his first 1,000 yards and receiving yards with at least 8 touchdowns. We saw last year he had 850 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's got to go up. His drops are behind him. I'm going 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns.
Okay, that's pretty solid. That's definitely doable. Like you said, in year 2, especially he cuts down those drops. It's very doable. I think he's right there. Like I said, he's behind Cortland Sutherland, number 2. Receiver on that team, so very, very doable. As long as Julock is able to get him the ball and not give it to other teams, he should be able to get to that 1,000-yard mark for sure. But yeah, I mean that does it for today's show. Besides the closing arguments, obviously we know it's still a tournament. Want to let people know where they can find you, find your work, but also the closing arguments why they should see you move on to the last round. So I'll start again with you, Jordan. Work around the horn. Closing arguments. Why we should believe in your Broncos this year, where we can find you and your work, and why they should vote you into the next round.
Just believe in that defense. If you vote me in, I'll be talking about that hopefully top 10 defense. But you can find me at Sports Scoop 1 on Twitter, as well as sports-scoop.com, which is my personal blog where I write sports Mondays through Fridays.
Yes, sir. Mike.
Well, you should send the Chargers into the next round because the past and the current are overrated. It's all about the future. So you want to see me in the next round going against these guys, and plus Greg went last year. Someone else's turn to go. Anyway, it's a hard argument against the Chiefs. They're the best team in football right now, right alongside the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you guys want to send me to the next round, I'll try my best to argue with Ravens fans or whoever's going to the next round. You guys can find me Warzone Sports Network on YouTube. That's all I need. You don't need to go to my personal stuff. If everyone goes to the Warzone Sports Network on YouTube, I'm happy. It's a network that I co-founded with another buddy. We started from the ground. We've gotten to 1,000 subscribers in less than 4 months. We're trying to keep the push going.
Yes, sir. Definitely check out their stuff. Great guys over there. Great work. Great graphics, too. Amazing graphics. And they know what they're talking about when it comes to sports. We'll finish off with Greg, champ last year. I know it makes Mike a little unhappy, but champ last year, so I gave you, your due diligence, let you go last, finish off the show again this year.
Well, the reason you want to send me through to the next round is because I don't have YouTube like these guys. I don't have a blog. I don't have a podcast. So the only place you're going to hear me is right here on NFL SmackTalk SmackDown.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
Smack down somebody in the next round with the AFC West champion Chiefs with the Lamar Hunt trophy at home and the home of Lamar Hunt, and hear more of Mahomes, hear more of Travis Kelce, hear more of Tyreek Hill, hear more of all those Chiefs legends, the Honey Badger. We taking them all down. I mean, Mike has a Chiefs mic, for God's sakes. He wants me to go. He got the red Chiefs mic. So vote for Greg and send me to the next round.
You got is that the Patty? Is it some Patrick Mahomes under there? Got the Patty? Oh, the Patty Mahomes. Yeah, headband and the hair. Yes, sir. Had to toss it. Yes, sir. But like you guys said, we might have to make Greg. Well, which is a very big possibility. If Mike dethrones Greg this year, I was about to say we might have to make Greg the face of this NFL SmackTalk SmackDown since he said he doesn't have anything else.
How far did you go, Greg? Last year, did you make it into the Super Bowl?
I think you came. Yeah, came one short because like after this, it's all the other AFC representatives from the other division, and whoever wins that goes to Super Bowl. So just one show short, but all in all, I guess you guys can celebrate because AFC dude did win the whole thing. So he represented the conference well.
Well, they were wrong. Whoever was going against Chiefs.
Yeah.
The Chiefs ended up doing it.
That is true. But yeah, like I said, that does it for the show. I appreciate you guys for coming on. Everyone, please check out their stuff. They are amazing guys. Definitely grateful to have them back on the show this year, and Jordan for the first time on this year as well. As for me, you already know where to find me, so I won't bore you guys with that, but I will help pay a little bit of bills for the network that I'm on, Off the Ball Network. Definitely want to talk about our new sponsor and MyBookie. As you see, that is my logo for the day with MyBookie. If you go to Off the Ball, or if you go to mybookie.com, and use Off the Ball as the promo code, you can win big. I believe they match up to $1,000 first deposit, 48-hour payout, no credit checks, fastest, or they match the most in the industry with that $1,000 first deposit. And like I said, if you go over there, you win big. There's a lot of guys on the network that give out a lot of good betting lines as well, a lot of golf ones as well. Check out Kenneth stuff, Shoot podcast, and everything on Off the Ball Network. Just copy whoever he puts because he's been winning for like 7 to 8 weeks in golf. So just use whatever he uses, put it in Off the Ball Network, and you can win big with us. So that does it for today's show. Again, appreciate you fellas for hopping on. Poll will be out soon, so make sure you vote whoever you feel like won the SmackTalk into the next round. And we will see you guys back here, I think, tomorrow for the NFC West, which should be a fun one as well. So have a good night, everyone. See you soon, and stay safe.
Bolt up.
Thanks a lot, bro.